Hello and good morning. Good Monday morning. Today is Monday, February the 20th. We are more than halfway through this month already. New moon today. We have a CME incoming from an X-class flare off the sun about a day and a half ago. It is creating a little bit of havoc with cameras, electronics, headaches, migraines, and also with people's behaviors. And there's actually some scientific studies out there now showing proof that what happens on the sun affects each and every one of us, just the same way that it affects most of the creatures on this planet. So if you're feeling a little bit off or unusual today, if you have some symptoms that you can't quite explain, you might want to start paying attention to some of the things that happen up there in that big ball in the sky. Also, we are new moon today. Who's ready with some manifestations? Who wants to create something? Tonight is the night to put your intentions out there for manifesting. So all the best with that. If you do have any ideas for manifesting, I'd love to see them on my Facebook page, Intuitive Butterfly. Send me a personal email if it's something that you don't want out publicly, marnie@intuitivebutterfly.com. Just a reminder that I am available for personal consultations. So if this video resonates with you and you'd like something a little bit more in depth, please reach out. I would love to do personal reading for each and every one of you. Okay. Let's start with disclaimers. Disclaimers. I am not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a certified financial advisor. So anything that you see or hear in this video that may be construed as specific advice directed specifically towards you, please take it with a grain of salt. Please remember your free will. Make decisions based on what you want to do, not solely based on something that you've heard on a video on YouTube or any other platform. These readings are general in nature, and so it may resonate for some of you and not for others. It just means if it's not resonating for you, the timing isn't quite right. Something's not quite lined up just yet. All right. How do these readings work? For those of you who are new here, each Monday morning I jump on and I will present you with 3 rocks, gems, or trinkets. I ask you to go into a light meditative state and intuitively select which rock, gem, or trinket you are drawn towards. I will then pull 2 cards, sometimes more, because sometimes more cards want to come out and have a little conversation with us. The first card that I pull is about the dominant energy that's influencing you this week. And the second card is from the bottom of the deck, and it's the shadow energy. It's an energy that is bubbling or brewing below the surface that you may not be aware of, but perhaps you might want to pay attention to it. Okay, so let's get started. If everyone could just take a couple of deep breaths. You can do this portion with or without your eyes closed. A lot of people find it easier to relax if they close their eyes. So take a couple of deep breaths in. And when you're ready, exhale and relax. Allow the tension to flow out with the breath. Another deep inhale. All the way in. Hold it at the top for just a moment. And allow the tension in your body to collect with the breath. And as you exhale, it leaves the body. All of the tension, just sigh it out. And final breath. All the way in. Hold it at the top. And a big sigh and release. Now, if you've had your eyes closed, please open your eyes, and I'm going to present the 3 rocks, gems, or trinkets. Please make your decision at the very end after all 3 have been presented. All right, so the first one is a desert rose. This desert rose has been assigned to deck number 1. All of the decks have been previously cleansed and cleared. All right. Happy birthday to all of the Pisces in the group. So in honor of your birthstone, Pisces, we do have a raw piece of amethyst here. It has not been polished, came straight out of Mother Earth. It's not polished, it was cleaned, however. So if you are attracted to or drawn towards this piece of amethyst, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 2. And finally, we have a piece of black onyx, which is partially polished. The bottom is polished, the top is put into a point, and the sides are still raw. So if you are drawn towards this black stone, I'll be pulling cards for you from deck number 3. Okay, go ahead and make your decision. Deck number 3 is the black onyx. Deck number 2 is the amethyst. And deck number 1 is the desert rose. Okay. For those of you who selected the desert rose, let's get started. We're going to be pulling your cards this week from the fairy deck. Sorry about the reflection there. The Fairy Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. All right, as I mentioned, cards were previously cleared using an organite, but we'll give them a little knock as well. All right, so fairies. Well, they've got some cards that have come out. Okay. How many cards did we end up with here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're supposed to end up with 1 card. Let's see if there is just 1 card that wants to come out. For those who selected the desert rose this week, what is the dominant energy influencing those who have the desert rose? Okay, that one doesn't want to go back in. Let's have a look. I will turn these other cards sideways, see if we need a clarification card or not. Okay, 6 of spring. This corresponds to the 6 of wands in the traditional tarot. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards, success, and public recognition. Ooh. Now, this card is interesting because this is indicating that the tides are turning. They're turning in your favor. There is good things coming to you. However, being in the deck, or sorry, in the suit of wands, aka spring for this particular deck, it's representative by the element of fire. And when something is represented by the element of fire, it does indicate that action is needed. From the cards, from the group of cards that snuck out, let's see if the 6 of spring requires clarification. Clarification for the 6 of spring. Okay, that one did not want to go in. Interesting, the 9 of swords. Okay, so the 9 of swords is about focusing on fear, unfounded fear. And so that may be why I was picking up on the action portion of this card. What I was sensing is that, yes, there's good news coming your way, but in order to accelerate that good news, in order to bring that into full fruition, you need to take action of some kind. There needs to be physical steps taken towards bringing it into fruition. And this makes sense that the clarification card is the Nine of Winter, also known as the Nine of Wands, which indicates that there's some fear there on your part, fear of taking those next steps, fear of stepping out into the unknown, stepping outside of the comfort zone. And when the Nine of Swords or the Nine of Winter appears, what's happening is we are allowing fears to balloon in our own mind, right? We're freaking ourselves out, and we're, the snowball effect comes in here where, yes, perhaps we're a little bit shy, maybe a little bit intimidated over doing something new. But that doesn't mean that we should be paralyzed in fear. And so what this is showing me is that there are good things coming. And you'll notice as well on this particular card, there's a horse. Actually, I think it's a unicorn. There's a unicorn, and it is galloping into your life. It corresponds to the Chariot as well, where, there's something good galloping into your life. It wants to come in. But if you are in fear, there's that saying, being paralyzed by fear, being unable to move forward as a direct result of fear. These are the dominant energies for you this week, those of you that selected this Desert Rose. And so it's something for you to be aware of, that when you overcome the fears, when you stop being paralyzed by fear, when you stop exaggerating fears in your own mind, then you're going to open the door for some really, really wonderful things to start galloping into your life. And honestly, what's going to be coming galloping in with this having a unicorn on it, it's going to be magical. It's going to be very unexpected, and it's going to be very magical. So overall, positive energies with this slight block in our way, or slight speed bump, right? Being this Nine of Winter. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck and see what card. Interesting. Right. Okay. You've got the Eight of Autumn, which is also known as the Eight of Pentacles. And what this is telling us, being in the shadow position of this reading, is that you're being encouraged right now to do some more research into something before diving right in. So there's something really good galloping towards you, but you do have some fears. This is coming up in your shadow position, which is encouraging you to take some courses, look into some education, do some more research, do some more learning before moving forward. And honestly, one of the best ways to overcome fear and overwhelm is to do more research, learn more about what it is out there that is causing this fear and this overwhelm over here. When you learn more over here, is going to help to waylay this and put all of this into the back burner so that this wonderful unicorn can come galloping into your life this week. So those of you that picked this Desert Rose, you do have a little bit of work to do this week with regards to waylaying your fears. And this shadow card is saying that you can waylay your fears by way of doing some more research, but it's on the bottom of the deck. Like I said, it's something that is being hidden from you or being shaded from you. It's something that needs to be brought into your awareness. Okay. And so that's why it's on the bottom of the deck. It's telling you, it's reminding you, step into a seminar this week, step into watching a video to help waylay some fears. And it's really going to help bring forward that which you're trying to manifest. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, right now is a really good time to manifest because of the new moon tonight. All right, moving along, let's move into those of you who selected this piece of amethyst. I'm going to be pulling cards for you from the Osho Zen Tarot. All right, and as I said, these cards were previously cleansed and cleared, but let's just do one quick mix. All right, dominant energy for those who selected. There we go. You see that card sticking up in a full bridge? Okay. Dominant energy for those who selected the amethyst this week is harmony. Oh, what a beautiful card. This card corresponds to the 10 of Cups in the traditional tarot. Now, interestingly, the 10 of Cups in the traditional tarot actually corresponds from the major arcana into the minor arcana, from the Sun into the 10 of Cups. The Sun is known as one of the happiest cards in the deck, and so this is considered one of the second happiest cards in the deck. You'll notice that there is a heart-brain connection being made on this card. Okay, we know, many know just intuitively that in order to be able to actually use the law of attraction properly, in order to be able to manifest, in order to be able to really, really connect with who we are at our heart and soul, we need to have that heart-brain connection. Okay, there has to be a cohesion there. There has to be a communication there. There has to be a flow of energy there. And so this card is reminding you guys of that this week, that in order to continue to maintain this happiness and this joy that is coming into your life this week, remember to connect your heart to your thoughts and your thoughts to your heart. This includes your emotions, okay? So, as I've mentioned a couple of times, tonight is a new moon. It's a great time for manifesting. But just going and saying, I want, sitting in the lotus position and doing the Gaya Mudra and just saying, I want, please bring me X. Okay. When there's no connection to what you want within your body, within your heart, and within your emotions, the universe actually doesn't take you seriously. Okay. So what this card is reminding you is that what you're sending out into the world, connect it with the heart, create this circle, this love, this flow, and you'll be able to manifest things. The other thing I want to point out is that this card is the 10 of Cups. Cups is the element of water. Water is about going with the flow. What I do want to say is that in order to bring manifestations into fruition, we need to go with the flow. And sometimes that means stepping outside of our comfort zone and just going with something that's really unusual or outside of our comfort zone, or, well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay, and away you go. Okay. I just sense really strongly that for those of you that selected the amethyst this week, something is going to present itself this week where you're going to go, I don't want to do that. Nope. And then you're going to think of this, and you're going to think of the water, and you're going to go, hey, maybe this is the opportunity. Okay, go with it. And all of a sudden, like, there's going to be beautiful things that come out of that. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. This makes sense. At the bottom of the deck, Your shadow this week is the Fool. What does the Fool represent? Being spontaneous, going out and going with the flow, hanging off that cliff and just seeing what's on the other side. What's going to be brought into us? I've manifested something, but things seldom manifest the way that we expect them to, right? That's where the saying comes up, be careful what you wish for, right? But what this is telling me by being in your shadow position is exactly what I was picking up with this card, is that something is going to come up this week that you're going to be pushed to go outside of your comfort zone and to go with the flow, and you're going to hesitate. And this card shows me, because it's in the shadow position, that you are definitely going to hesitate. But why do we need to know about our shadow cards? So that we know the energies that are coming forward, and then we can make an informed decision about what we want to do. Do we want to actually, step out of our comfort zones, be a little bit foolish, maybe go do something that is something a little bit out of the ordinary for us? And then we can bring this happiness and this harmony into ourselves. Or are we going to look at it and go, nope, that was a shadow card this week, and that's a hard no for me. But knowing that the Fool was under the deck for you, knowing that spontaneity may be something that is holding you back, is an important lesson. It's up to you whether you choose to step into the spontaneity this week. It is a choice. Okay. So for those of you that had that piece of amethyst this week, remember, heart-brain connection. In order to be able to manifest, there is something unexpected coming, and you have a choice to make as to whether you are going to step into the role of stepping outside of your comfort zone or not. All right. Let's move on to those who selected this piece of black onyx. I will be pulling your cards from the traditional tarot this week. All right. All right. Okay, we already have cards that have come right out, but I'm not sensing that those are your cards. They just happen to come out for the initial mix here. So let's try again. All right. Dominant energy this week for those who selected deck number 3. Dominant energy. Come on, cards. Now they don't want to talk. Oh, there we go. We've got a card that's flipped over all by itself, right onto the top of the deck. Okay, you've got the 5 of Cups. Now, when 5s come up in any of the suits of the tarot, including the major arcana as well as the minor arcana, they're an indication that you may be at a crossroads. Something is pulling you in a couple of different directions. It's an indication that you may be a little bit stuck in the past and brooding over something. So this is a card of when we stay in the past, when we live in the past, we have a tendency to be despondent, depressed, sadness. Okay. It's the 5 of Cups is representative that we are not appreciating all that we have in our lives. And because this is also in the suit of Cups, the 5 of Cups is telling us that we are more in line with the cup is half empty instead of the cup is half full type philosophy. Okay, so this is coming in as your dominant energy this week, that you have a tendency this week, those of you that selected this piece of black onyx, you're going to have this tendency this week to lean towards the negative, to lean towards the, oh, are you kidding me? Oh, do I have to deal with this again? If you are going through this week with that type of attitude and that type of energy, then it snowballs the same way that when things are really positive and really good, we can snowball that and make life more positive. Okay. So this card is foreshadowing the possibility that your emotions this week have the ability, and what you're concentrating on has the ability to kind of keep you down a little bit this week. Now, you can change that, right? We can change anything. Oh, and there goes my camera. Sorry about that. I knew sooner or later it was going to do it. It's not specifically this camera. I have 3 cameras, one built into my computer and 2 external cameras, and they're all doing it. My next door neighbor is having the same problem when she's on a Zoom call. It does the same thing. We don't know why. We don't know if it's the Wi-Fi in the area. We don't know if they're turning on some certain towers that have 5G. Anyway, I do apologize. And like I've said in the past, I do not edit my videos, so I apologize. Okay. This 5 of Cups. Okay. Cups is represented by the element of water. It means going with the flow. Going with the flow means that we get out what we put in. So if we are putting in these negative, brooding, depressed type sadness, loss, despondent emotions, then that's what we're going to get back out. Can we change this? Absolutely, we can change this. As with any psychic or tarot reading, any oracle card reading, they are a snapshot of a picture in time, in the here and now. So knowing that you have a tendency to lean towards this 5 of Cups energy this week means that you can definitely pull yourself out of this. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Right. The bottom of the deck this week, for those of you that selected this black piece of onyx, is the devil. Okay. And what the devil is indicating to us is that we have an internal struggle going on. In some of my other decks, the devil is represented by the ego. The card is called the ego. For example, in the fairy tarot, the devil is called the ego. And it's an indication that there's this internal feeling trapped within ourselves energy. Okay. I'm going to pull another card for everyone here with regards to suggestions or the best way to extricate yourself from this energy. 4 of Swords, rest and recuperation. Okay. So for those of you that selected this black piece of onyx, you do have some negativity coming up this week. Okay. You've got this internal struggle of your ego. You've got perhaps the ego, the devil, the ego can often represent a misaligned relationship with material things. Okay. Putting material things with higher importance or significance in your life than the important things like family and friends. So that's what this devil is representing for you this week. And it's leaving you feeling this kind of despondent. The best way out of this, I pulled one more card for you to provide you with some guidance for the best way out. And the best way out rest, recuperation, and looking at your interpretations of the world. Okay. One of the other things that the devil brings into our lives is we want to compare ourselves to everybody else's life. Okay. And social media has done a wonderful, wonderful job of throwing us all into this. Oh my God, look at her life. Oh my God, look at his life. Oh, they're so amazing. Oh, they're going on travels. They're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, and look at my life. Okay. The devil has done an amazing job of creating that atmosphere for us to be able to compare ourselves to other people's lives. Now, do you really think that all of the Instagrammers, all of the YouTubers have this 100% of the time glowing, amazing experience? That's not realistic. But if you are believing that, if the devil sitting on your shoulder believes everything that you are seeing or hearing, whether it be in mainstream media, whether it be on an Instagram channel, if you are believing 100% of those fancy cars and big jewelry and lots of travel, and that those people have no problems in their lives, then you are bringing out more of this Five of Cups energy here. Okay. Your best way out is through the Four of Swords. Rest, relax, recuperate. And in your rest and relaxation, take a really good, clear look inside yourself, at your own belief systems, and how you are interpreting what you're seeing in the outside world. How are you integrating what you see in the outside world? All right. If any of this resonated with any of you, please give me a like, subscribe, and I will see you all next Monday. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.